After the college entrance exam results came out, my childhood friend suddenly decided to retake the exam with the school beauty. A friend teased him, "What about your white moonlight at home? Didn't you promise to go to Tsinghua University together?" Only then did Nash Gu realize belatedly, "Oh, Lunashin, don't worry, I'll just tell her, she'll definitely retake the exam with me. After all these years, she simply can't do without my family." I stood frozen for a long time, then silently walked away, pretending to know nothing. That evening, I logged into the college application system and entered my dream university. He didn't know, he had his campus crush to pursue, and I had my own dreams to chase. The promise to attend Tsinghua University together was never meant for him. Nash Gu's words left me stunned in an instant. Even my breath involuntarily stopped. Studying hard to get into Tsinghua was a promise we made together since high school. After countless days and nights of joint effort, we finally saw the dawn. Yet he made the decision to repeat the year without even discussing it. From inside the private room, his friend's voice continued, "How do you know Lunashin would agree to repeat the year with you? Her grades are so good. She's definitely getting into Tsinghua." Nash Gu let out an exasperated laugh, as if he had just heard a joke. "Precisely because she has good grades, she can definitely get in if she repeats a year. But how can she manage if she doesn't go to university with me?" At this point, he sounded somewhat helpless. After a dazed moment, his friends burst into laughter. "Right, Lunashin relies entirely on your family's support for her living expenses. Without our young Master Gu, where would she get the money to pay her tuition? No wonder young Master Gu is the best." He straight up chased his white moonlight to his own home, making it impossible for her to run away. Nash Gu looked up from his game and sneered, "Ever since she moved into my place, her attitude toward me has done a complete 180. If I tell her to repeat a year with me, would she dare say no?" Another friend couldn't help but chime in, "Nash, I still think what you're doing isn't fair. At least discuss it with her first." "No." Nash Gu's fingers paused on the screen, and he said impatiently, "There's nothing to discuss. I've already promised Chinran. I'll just message her on WeChat later. If she finds out I'm repeating the year just for Chinran, who knows how she'll react? Besides, it's not like I made this decision lightly. Chinran failed the college entrance exam and is already depressed. She just wants me to repeat the year with her." Hearing this, a few friends exchanged knowing glances and sighed. True. The beautiful Chin is not only the campus belle but also considerate and kind-hearted, unlike that Lunashin, who always wears glasses and buries herself in books. As dull as a mute gourd, she really can't compare to the campus belle. Besides, she's also a vampire. Laughter rose and fell in waves. Yet outside the door, I felt as though I had plunged into an icy abyss, chilled to the bone. I desperately wanted to burst in, grab Nash Gu by the collar, and demand an explanation, but my feet seemed glued to the ground, utterly incapable of taking that step. In the end, I still couldn't muster the courage. I could only leave silently, stumbling my way back home. Only when I returned to my room did the tears finally flow freely. In my mind, Nash Gu's words played back one by one. I still can't understand why he would give up on Tsinghua University, which he had always longed for. We had worked so hard together for so long, finally making it through the Gaokao. Even just a second before entering the restaurant, I was still happy about our results, imagining that we could both get into Tsinghua and start a wonderful college life together. So I never could have imagined this. I gave my all to fight for our future together, yet he could easily give it all up for just anyone. Back in middle school, on that rainy day after my parents passed away, he stayed outside my door for 3 days and nights because he was afraid I might do something drastic. In the end, he said his parents would be my parents from then on, and took me back to the Gu family. So what do all those acts of protection even mean now? Is it his pity and charity? Actually, I don't have to follow him in everything. It's just that during these years with the Gu family, although uncle and aunt treated me very well, like their own daughter, but in my heart, I always felt they were kind to me because of Nash Gu, living under someone else's roof. Of course, I had to prioritize Nash Gu in everything. But now, with my scores hidden, both Tsinghua and Peking University called this morning with admission offers, and they offered very generous enrollment incentives. So this time, even without him, I must get into Tsinghua, because he wants to accompany the campus belle for another year of study. Does he naturally assume I should join them? I'm not foolish enough to gamble with my own future. Since he has someone he wants to stay with, I too have my own vast sky to chase. Our paths have already diverged. Let's each go our own way. After sorting out my thoughts, my mood improved significantly. Everything will pass, it's not a big deal. Don't waste your energy on people and things that are no longer worth it. Just as I was about to go to the bathroom to wash away the tear stains on my face, Nash GU suddenly called me. My finger instinctively pressed the answer button. Luna, come out quickly. I'm already at the door. Everyone's already there, just waiting for you. After a moment of thought, I finally remembered that tonight Nash GU was hosting a celebration for everyone's successful college entrance exams. I casually packed up and got in the car to head to the restaurant. While driving, Nash GU took a moment to glance at me. Luna, why do you seem so distant today? I smiled slightly and said, not at all, to get into college smoothly. Right now I just want to pretend nothing happened. After arriving at the restaurant, Nash GU looked around and asked, has Chinran not arrived yet? His buddies teased, how could we possibly invite the campus belle? Doesn't this require young Master GU to step in? Everyone joked around freely, completely ignoring me standing beside Nash GU. True, they all see me as the family's bloodsucker, Nash GU's lapdog. Even I had forgotten that I was once the unrequited love Nash GU secretly admired for years. After he dialed the call, I heard a girl sobbing on the other end. Then, Nash GU frowned, hung up the phone, and apologized to everyone. Chinran seems upset. I should go check on her first. Please go ahead and eat without me, then. Everyone exchanged awkward glances and stiffly finished the meal. Back home, Nash GU sent a message. Luna, are you asleep? Don't dwell on what happened tonight. Next time, I'll take you out to eat alone. I glanced at my phone but decided not to reply. Because I couldn't help but take it to heart, I've decided to repeat the year. Let's take the Tsinghua entrance exam together next year. Chinran is suffering from depression now. If we abandon her, she might do something drastic. Don't worry, with our grades, it's just a matter of starting Tsinghua a year later. But for her, it could be a matter of life and death. We can't stand by and watch. I won't send any more messages from here on out, and I still don't intend to reply to him. A fire of anger smolders in my heart. After saying so much, it was all for Chinran's sake. Why should her life or death be saved at the cost of sacrificing my future? Since Chinran transferred here in her second year of high school, I've lost count of how many times Nash GU made exceptions because of her. Perhaps boys just like girls like her, pretty and outgoing. During the days when I buried myself in silent studying, Chinran replaced me as the only girl in the small group led by Nash GU. Her laughter was hearty and bright, always able to blend in effortlessly with the boys. Compared to my reserved self, Chinran was indeed more likable. So during that time, I thought Nash GU had fallen for Chinran, and I began to gradually distance myself from them, giving them space. Yet every time I deliberately kept my distance, Nash GU would pull me back again. He reassured me, Chinran just gets along well with everyone, and we all like to joke around. Why are you running away? Don't worry. I have no intentions toward her. You're already living in my place. Do you really think I'd go back on my word? I believed him and didn't dwell on it too much. After all, Chinran's personality truly shines like a light, drawing people to her, but being drawn to someone doesn't necessarily mean liking them. Right, yet later, without me even realizing it, Nash GU and she had already shared many secrets that even I didn't know about. It feels like between the two of them, I'm the outsider, even now. When he abandoned our agreement to accompany Chinran in repeating the year, I was the last to be informed. My thoughts were tangled for a long time until a WeChat notification suddenly pulled me back. Luna, what's going on? You haven't replied to me all night. I quickly typed a few words on the screen. Fell asleep last night. Then I glanced at the time. Today was the day our homeroom teacher had arranged for us to gather at school to collect our graduation certificates and class photos. When I arrived at the classroom, I saw Nash GU and Chinran were already there. The seat next to Nash GU was originally my desk, but now she's sitting there. As I walked near them, Nash GU awkwardly said to me, Luna, there's an empty seat in front of me. Why don't you sit there? I shook my head, no need. Then I went straight to sit beside my best friend, Lin Kian. Nash GU noticed I wasn't paying much attention to him, his expression turning cold. A classmate who got the graduation photo first exclaimed in surprise, Our class monitor is so photogenic, even without makeup and in a school uniform, she looks stunning. She's totally the female lead of a youth novel. Hearing this, Nash Gu smugly snatched a graduation photo. Before long, my phone received a photo along with a message from Nash Gu. Look, we make such a perfect couple standing together. The photo was a deliberate crop of just the two of them from a group picture. The girl's gaze was clear yet tinged with melancholy, while the boy's smile was relaxed, his head slightly tilted toward her. I was feeling a bit sentimental, so I turned off my phone, started chatting with Lin Kian about all the gossip at school. Just as we were getting into the conversation, suddenly a snap hit me on the head. Come out for a second. It was Nash Gu. I slowly walked out into the hallway when Nash Gu suddenly grabbed my shoulder and turned me around, forcing me to face him directly. Luna, what's been up with you these past few days? I've messaged you several times, and you haven't replied. I snapped back at him, annoyed. I'm fine, perfectly fine. You should spend more time worrying about Qinran instead. After a brief but intense stare down, Nash Gu completely lost his patience. I never realized you could be so petty, Lunashan. All I did was look after Qinran first at the last gathering. Was it really necessary to give me such a cold shoulder? I kept a straight face and refused to look at him. Nash Gu took a deep breath and softened his tone. Alright, my bad last time. Don't worry too much about repeating the year. With your grades, taking the exam again might even land you in the top few in the province. He was about to say more when Qinran suddenly appeared. Nash, come help me choose which cram school to pick. Nash Gu nodded and, as usual, pinched my cheek before leaving. Be good, I sneered to myself. Nash Gu probably thought that I would still follow his decisions in everything, just like before, so he naturally assumed I would give up all the achievements I've worked so hard for and repeat the year with him. Well, in his eyes, since I've received financial support from his family, I shouldn't be an ungrateful wretch, right? Fortunately, I've already made up my mind to apply to Tsinghua University. Glancing at the time, I need to hurry to the arcade at the nearby mall for my part-time job, although the enrollment rewards from Tsinghua are enough to support me through all 4 years of university, since I've decided not to rely on Nash Gu anymore. Naturally, the more money I have, the better. Besides, this also gives me an excuse to avoid Nash Gu. It wasn't long before I noticed that Nash Gu and his group had also appeared in the arcade. Qinran was the first to notice me. Luna, you're working here. Didn't Nash give you enough pocket money? I continued tidying up the front desk by myself, ignoring the comment. Nash Gu's eyes twitched slightly at the corners when he saw this, and he immediately pulled out his phone to transfer me some money. Luna, why didn't you say something earlier if you were short on cash? I'll take you to resign from the boss right now. I threw down the rag in annoyance. Nash Gu, I'm not short on money, I just wanted to experience life a little. Then, I forced a smile onto my face. I hope all our customers have a great time. Perhaps unable to stand my sarcastic tone, Nash Gu's face darkened. Let's go, we'll enjoy ourselves. What some people choose to do is none of our business. I watched as they cooperated seamlessly in the arcade. These were all things I wasn't good at. Nash Gu enjoys exciting, lively games, while I only prefer to stay quietly by myself, so I was never the kind of girl Nash Gu would like. Taking me in must have been purely out of pity. After coming out of the restroom, I noticed a familiar figure blocking my way, his arms stretched out to trap me in the small space before his chest. Luna, how much longer are you going to stay upset with me? Come on, tell me, what exactly made you unhappy this time? Looking into his earnest eyes, I wanted to say that I didn't want to repeat the year and hoped he could go to Tsinghua University with me. But then he added, if it's because of Qinran, then I have to say something. There's nothing between me and her. Are you being a bit too petty by always getting upset over her? The three of us are about to attend cram school together, retake the exams together, and get into Tsinghua together next year. Stop picking on her all the time. After all that talk, it's all about her. I lowered my head and laughed bitterly, naively thinking just moments ago that he might actually be willing to let go of Qinran. At this moment, Qinran's voice suddenly rang in my ears. Sorry, I didn't know you were here. Why is it that every time I'm alone with Nash Gu, Qinran always happens to bump into us? I pushed Nash Gu away to leave, but Qinran grabbed me. Luna Shin, Nash has been distracted because of you these past few days. Could you stop always picking fights with him? We're all classmates. Is this really necessary? I didn't want to engage with her, so I brushed past her shoulder and walked away, but perhaps the floor was too slippery, as Chinran nearly lost her balance. However, Nash Jiu caught her. Nash, I'm fine. I just don't want to see you two always at odds because of me. Maybe I should go apologize to Luna. Chinran's eyes instantly reddened. As she spoke, she was about to step in front of me to bow. But Nash Jiu pulled her back. Why are you apologizing to her? She bumped into you just now. Besides, you didn't do anything wrong. She's the one making a big deal out of nothing, always looking for trouble when she has nothing better to do. I clenched my teeth and left without saying a word. After leaving, a voice came from behind. Don't mind her. It's all because I spoiled her. By the time the part-time job ended, it was already evening. When I came out, I saw Nash Jiu still standing at the door. Though his face was still stern, he took my hand and softened his tone. Let's go to the bar together. Many classmates are there, including Lin Qian. After we're done, we'll go back together. I couldn't think of a reason to refuse at the moment, so I let him lead the way. After arriving at the private room in the bar, I sat with Lin Qian. I watched Chinran playing dice, drinking, and blending in with them. The others deliberately created ambiguous opportunities for her and Nash Jiu, joining in the teasing without a care for whether I might feel embarrassed. But that's true. In everyone's eyes, I was practically adopted by the Jiu family. What right did I have to date Nash Jiu? As Chinran kept losing at dice and downed over a dozen drinks, one of Nash Gu's childhood friends put on a show, saying, "Oh, how could you let our campus belle Chin lose so much? Don't you know how to go easy on her?" He deliberately glanced at Nash Jiu as he spoke. If we want to go easy, we still have to see if Brother Jiu agrees. Immediately after, Chinran seemed genuinely drunk and unexpectedly collapsed onto Nash Jiu. Everyone started loudly teasing them. Nash Jiu subtly glanced at me before saying with anger, "Don't take your jokes too far." In the past, I would have angrily walked away, and most of the time Nash Jiu would immediately chase after me, laughing and coaxing me. But now, I didn't react at all. Chinran, emboldened by alcohol, hooked her arm around Nash Gu's neck and whispered something in his ear. All I saw was Nash Gu's ears instantly turning bright red, the flush spreading down to his neck, watching coldly as the two clung intimately to each other. Chinran wore only a tank top on her upper body, continuously rubbing against Nash Jiu. The pose was unbearably suggestive. After a while, Nash Jiu pressed Chinran's face into his chest, grabbed his coat to cover her upper body, shielding her from the gazes of the crowd. That level of intimacy was something he had never shown me before. Then, he picked up Iris Chin and said, "She's drunk, I'll take her home first. You guys keep having fun." Without even glancing at me again, he disappeared from the private room. I silently opened a bottle of beer and chugged it down, still feeling unsettled inside, even though I had already decided to give up and had done so much mental preparation for myself. But when I actually saw them being intimate together, I couldn't help feeling as if my heart was being wrenched. Putting down the wine bottle, I silently left the private room. Lin Qian followed me out and couldn't resist joining me in venting angrily on the street. "I watched Nash Jiu chase after you like you were his purest love. How could he change just like that?" Just now, when she noticed something was off with my mood, she wanted to step forward and remind Nash Jiu, but I stopped her. Whatever. Anyway, I don't plan on having him in my future, so why spoil the mood? After getting home, I quickly washed up and lay in bed, feeling dizzy and heavy-headed. Opening my phone, I saw the class group chat where the teacher at everyone, reminding that there were only 3 hours left before the college application deadline. Then Nash Jiu called. "Sorry, I originally promised to go back with you today, but with Chinran suddenly like this, there's nothing I can do. I heard from others that you drank tonight, but since Lin Qian is with you on the way home, I'm relieved. Also, I just submitted the re-study application to the homeroom teacher. In a few days, we'll attend the cram school together, just like in high school, perhaps out of guilt towards me." Nash Gu's words were unusually gentle at this moment. In the past, he would have given me the cold shoulder for days, and even when he gave in first, it was always with a thunder tone. Then I would obediently take the opportunity to make peace and forgive him. After all, how could I bear to embarrass someone I truly care about? But this time, his rare tenderness left me feeling strangely lost. Why have you been so quiet? didn't you always want to go to Xinjiang? How about we go together in a few days? I heard the Golden Mountain bathed in sunlight there is breathtaking. Luna, actually repeating a year together wouldn't be so bad. We could spend whole days together again, just like before. Besides, your grades are excellent, so repeating a year would be no pressure for you. Qin Ran's grades aren't as good as yours, so she might have to endure another tough year. Actually, she's a pretty nice girl. You're too quiet. You should interact with her more, otherwise, when you go to college, you might end up with no friends. He rambled on, as if muttering drunkenly, so in his heart. This is how he compared me to Qin Ran. After saying so much to me, most of it was actually considering Qin Ran, afraid she would feel lonely studying alone for the retake, afraid that I would clash with her if we retook the exam together. I couldn't help but ask the question I'd been wanting to ask, so, have you really decided to break our promise and accompany Qin Ran in retaking the exam? As I spoke, I couldn't help but notice the choked sob in my own voice. I think, if he could honestly tell me the answer, tell me his choice, even if he chose Qin Ran, I would still wish them happiness. We could still remain friends. After all, after a while, he lazily said, next year, we can still go to Tsinghua University together. That wouldn't break our promise, would it, Luna? After receiving his final answer, I forced a difficult smile at the corners of my mouth. Yeah. You're the one who knows how to exploit bugs. In the end, he chose no one, yet he chose everyone. Since he didn't want to make the decision, I'll make it for him. Without waiting for him to say anything more, I made an excuse that I needed to sleep and hurriedly hung up the phone. For the last time, I opened the college application system to double-check the universities I had already applied to. After confirming everything was correct, I turned off the computer. At that moment, the clock passed midnight, marking the end of the application period. There's no room for regret anymore. Fine, the path was chosen by oneself, so one should walk it alone. Going to college alone might turn out to be quite exciting. Just closing my eyes, Nashgu's face keeps flashing through my mind. There was his fervent desire for me on rainy nights, his cautious and careful gaze towards me, and now his impatient restlessness. We met in junior high school, keeping each other company. And I never imagined back then that we would end up on diverging paths. Perhaps it is at certain moments that time forces us to learn how to part, only then realizing that no one in this world will stay for us forever. Maybe I overthought things, drifting in and out of sleep all night. I woke up again. And it was already noon the next day. I opened my phone, and most of the messages inside were from Nash Gu. I scrolled past him and clicked on the message my best friend sent me. Quick. Look at what your Nash Gu did last night. And, a screenshot from Weibo. The Weibo screenshot shows a series of photos Qin Ran posted of watching the sunrise by the sea. Many schoolmates commented below, eagerly gossiping, is the school beauty about to make an official announcement? So many couples went public after the college entrance exams, and today we finally get good news from the school beauty. I told you, Campus Belle Qin and young Master Gu were meant to be together, back in school. I always felt there was something between them. Look, they're wearing slippers from a nearby hotel. You know what that means, wink. I zoomed in on the photo and saw Nashgu's profile, bathed in the soft morning light, gazing affectionately at Qin Ran. For a moment, my heartbeat seemed to freeze. Qin Ran's caption was an outright declaration of sovereignty. The dawn knows who awaits the sunrise, and I know who accompanies me toward the future. The post received numerous likes and comments, with Qin Ran's replies being rather ambiguous. Even many of Nashgu's friends joined in the teasing in the comments section. My heart sank. So, they had already been together last night. And yet, he managed to comfort me while having a romantic seaside date with his new girlfriend. A wave of sorrow came crashing over me again, but thinking about last night's college application choices, I felt relieved that I hadn't given up at the last minute. Otherwise, staying by their side would have made me a glaring clown. I turned off my phone screen and forced myself to sit on the balcony, letting the wind blow away the restless thoughts in my mind. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. The person who came was Nash Gu. Nash Gu had dark circles under his eyes, his hair was messy, and he was holding a bag in his hand. I stood frozen in place until he shoved the contents of the bag into my hands. I specially picked these seashells for you. Do you like them? I called you so many times, but you didn't answer. I was going to ask if you wanted to have that dessert you like. He ruffled my hair and then pulled out a cake box from behind his back, but I bought it anyway. See how good I am to you. I clenched the shell in my hand, holding back the tears welling up in my eyes. Then, gathering courage, I asked him, "Did you go to the beach last night?" While taking out the dessert, he casually replied, "Yeah, oh, right." He thought I didn't use Weibo, so I wouldn't know about the photos Chinran posted. He cut the dessert into small pieces and held them out to me. "Here, have a piece of pastry. Don't be upset, I queued for over half an hour to get this. It tastes best when eaten now." Just as he was about to feed me the pastry from his spoon, I turned my face away coldly. He gave a bitter smile and tossed the spoon onto the plate. "Fine, if you don't want to eat, then don't. Chinran and I have chosen a holiday tutoring class. Let's get up early tomorrow and go together. You shouldn't go for any summer job either. It doesn't pay much, and if you don't study for 2 months, don't come crying when you fall too far behind." I shook my head in refusal. "I'm not going to the tutoring class. You guys go ahead, I need to go out in a bit. Could you please leave my room first?" Nash Gu was stunned for a moment, then frowned and said, "Why not? Didn't we agree on this before?" Just to spite me, he reached out to hug me. But I dodged. "Stop messing around, okay? I barely slept last night and I'm really tired now. Besides, we both have cram school to attend. How can I not worry about you being alone?" I stared into his eyes and said seriously, "First of all, I'm not a child. You don't need to worry about me every single moment. Besides, isn't it better that I'm not going to the tutoring class? That way I won't get in the way of you and Chinran." Nash Gu let out a deep sigh. I knew he had lost most of his patience by now. "So, you're still angry because of Chinran? I just don't understand why you girls are so prone to jealousy. Can't you be more generous like Chinran?" His words infuriated me. I nodded and said, "Right, in your heart, I'll never measure up to Chinran. Then go find her and leave me alone." Nash Gu's temper flared as well. "Lunashan, I've already given you a way out. Don't be ungrateful. I've already signed you up for the tutoring class. Whether you go tomorrow or not is up to you." With that, he stood up and strode out. I had no intention of stopping him. At the door, he still scowled and said, "With a temper like yours, no wonder Lin Qian is your only close friend." His final words pierced my heart like an icicle. Truly, those closest to you know exactly where to strike. I threw the sweetheart he bought for me on the table into the trash. Even that casually purchased seashell was tossed into the trash. Standing on the balcony, watching the sunset sink, I shook my head. I shouted to myself in my heart, "Lunashan, stop being so down." I opened my phone and decisively blocked Nash Gu's contact. Then I quickly opened a job hunting app and found myself a part-time tutoring job for the daytime. Next, I turned on my computer and started learning skills like video editing. I needed to keep myself busy so I wouldn't have time to think about other people or things. The next day, I got up early, got ready, and prepared to go tutoring. While struggling over what to wear, I realized I had no clothes other than my school uniform. Then I sent a message to Lin Qian, "Want to go shopping at the mall after my part-time job tonight?" She replied quickly, "I'll be waiting anytime." Just in time to show you my new look. Suddenly, a call came in, and I answered it instinctively. "Lunashan, you're really something, actually blocking me. Cut the crap. Are you coming or not? The teacher is about to take attendance." Nash Gu's tone was urgent and impatient. I said calmly, "I told you, I'm not going. Don't be stubborn at a time like this. I've already submitted your name, and now you're saying you won't go. I've already paid the money," I said irritably. "I never said I would go to cram school with you. That was your own decision. Fine, you're doing well in your studies, so you don't need cram school to score high next year. I won't bother with you anymore." From his tone, I could tell he was really upset at that moment. I also heard Chinran's complaint from the other end of the line. "Seriously, she lives off you and dares to get angry with you." I hung up the phone and adjusted my expression in the mirror. Who cares what others think? Just do what you believe is right. The family I tutor is very easy to get along with. The little girl is in 6th grade, her grades aren't too bad, and she's quite obedient, so teaching her is quite effortless. The first trial tutoring session ended early. The little girl said she really liked me and even brought out her good friend, Duo Mi, to meet me. Duo Mi is a chubby little orange cat. The girl placed it in my arms and said, "Sister, I like it when you come, even Duo Mi likes you." I smiled and patted the girl's head, feeling that such an environment was truly blissful. After a whole day packed with activities, I felt like the clutter in my mind had been cleared away quite a bit. Remembering that I had made plans with Lin Qian to go shopping in the evening, I opened my phone to ask if she was ready. Unconsciously opening my social media feed, I saw the photo Qin Ran posted, a side profile of Nash Jiyu sleeping on his desk. Caption: "Thank you for being with me." Just a simple picture instantly pulled me back into memories. During the 3 years in high school when I shared a desk with Nash Jiyu, he would often sleep with his head on the desk. Sometimes, when I got tired from studying, I liked to quietly watch his profile. Countless times, I wanted to stretch out my index finger and slide it down the slope of his tall nose bridge. Now, he is no longer my desk mate, nor is he my Nash Jiyu alone. Teacher Shen, what's wrong with you? Perhaps lost in thought. I didn't even notice when the girl's mother came over. I shook my head. It's nothing. I cut some fruit. You've been tutoring my guogua for so long and must be tired. Have some fruit to replenish your energy. Watching the happy family, I felt a pang of timidity in my heart. I quickly stood up and said, "No need. Auntie, I have plans tonight, so I'll be leaving now." Auntie said, "Teacher Shen is going on a date with her boyfriend, right? I just saw you staring at your boyfriend's photo in a daze." I awkwardly smiled, feeling my heart skip a beat uncontrollably. After leaving, I hailed a cab to the location Lin Qian had sent me. When I got out of the car, I saw a short-haired beauty with dyed red hair and stylish clothes smiling at me. "You have really blossomed into a beautiful young woman." I was momentarily stunned, but she truly looked stunning. Without delay, she dragged me off on a shopping spree. Along the way, noticing my absent-mindedness, she began scolding me for being so unambitious. "It's just a man. Once you get into Tsinghua, you'll have your pick of high-quality men. Besides, you just haven't put any effort into dressing up. Otherwise, you could easily charm that Nash Jiyu to death and make him regret it." Over the next few days, Lin Qian took me to get a new hairstyle, swapped out my oversized school uniform for several delicate, aristocratic-style dresses, and even personally did my makeup. After her makeover, the reflection in the mirror truly stunned me. Lin Qian quickly pulled out her phone to take pictures of me, praising as she snapped, "Girl, this style suits you so well. Your cool beauty paired with this elegant dress and makeup, you're the perfect icy Korean drama heiress." I felt a bit embarrassed by her compliments, and before I knew it, she had posted all her photos on her social media. With such a beautiful best friend like her, of course I have to show her off properly. Before long, the class group chat suddenly exploded with messages. Luna Shen's beauty was definitely hidden by the school uniform before. "She's absolutely stunning. From now on Luna Shen is my wife. Wifey come here a heart." Seeing everyone's enthusiasm, I thought for a moment and replied in the group chat, "You flatter me. It's all thanks to Qian's good photography angles." At this moment, Qin Ran's friend quickly followed up on my reply with, "Luna Shen only looks good from the side though." Then, the class group chat fell silent for a brief moment. Lin Qian couldn't stand it anymore and grumbled as she snapped a live photo of my face on the spot, then immediately sent it to the group chat. Instantly, the classmates were even more amazed, showering me with endless compliments. Even our usually stern homeroom teacher popped up in the group chat. "Turns out our class monitor looks so stunning when dressed up. Everyone should learn from her. Excelling in both academics and beauty. A thumbs up. Actually, Luna Shen is naturally beautiful even without makeup. She just usually buries herself in studies and rarely makes public appearances." Agreed +1. The person who just made that sarcastic remark about me popped up again with a sour comment. "It's just that the hairstyle flatters the face shape more." But this time, I didn't even need to respond. Several classmates spoke up for me. Not long after, my phone buzzed with Tsinghua University's admission notification. I held Lin Qian happily for a long time. After striving for so long, the dream has finally come true. But at this moment, Nash Jiyu made a phone call. "Did you go shopping at XX Square? It's getting late. I'll drive you home." Before I could refuse, the call had already ended on the other side. I silently opened the ride-hailing app. But before the page could even refresh, Nash Jiyu was standing not far in front of me. With him was Qin Ran. Their eyes met, and Nash Jiyu seemed utterly astonished. Even Qin Ran beside him froze for several seconds. After a stiff moment of staring, Nash Jiyu finally snapped out of it and walked toward me. The admiration in his eyes was barely contained. and he couldn't help but blurt out, "You look really good with light makeup. Very natural. At first glance, I almost didn't recognize you." "Yeah, thanks." He pointed towards the car. "Let's go, I'll drive you back." I shook my head. "No, there are too many people, it's a bit stuffy. And I plan to sleep at Lin Kian's place tonight." Nashgu's disappointment was obvious. "So, you're not coming home tonight?" At this moment, Lin Kian's taxi had arrived, after we got in the car. She couldn't help but say, "See, I told you, just now, when Nashgu saw you, his eyes were glued to you, and when he said you looked good with light makeup, so natural." I noticed Qinran secretly ripped off her overly thick false eyelashes. I laughed in response, thinking to myself, so Nashgu's attention is so easily captured, then his affection doesn't seem all that precious. After receiving the admission letter, the school also specially posted an honor roll on the bulletin board. I looked at my name at the top with satisfaction. First in the entire school, 18th in the province, admitted to Tsinghua University. From a distance, my homeroom teacher spotted me and walked over. "Luna Shin, congratulations on getting into Tsinghua." I smiled and thanked the teacher warmly. "But why didn't that kid Nashgu come with you today?" Actually, his scores were pretty high, though he might get transferred if he went to Tsinghua. But repeating a year isn't bad either. Next year he'll definitely get into the same school as you. That kid is really devoted. In all my years of teaching, it's the first time I've seen a student repeat a year for the girl he likes. Yeah, truly devoted. But not for me. The day before Tsinghua's semester started, Nashgu suddenly called me. This was the first time he reached out to me since he started attending the cram school. The cram school was a boarding program, so he hadn't come back in the past month. Occasionally, I could see their daily life at the cram school in Qinran's social media posts. Photos of them reciting vocabulary to each other on the playground at dusk, or their silhouettes walking back to the dormitory after evening self-study. If I had seen these things before, I would have spent nights hiding under the covers, lost in thought and self-doubt. But now, as I'm about to leave for college, I realize that those who once made me sad are already part of the past. Let's go on a trip to Xinjiang the day after tomorrow. I've invited my buddies, along with Qinran and you. I've already booked the flights and hotels. We'll share a suite, and we can go see the Golden Mountain bathed in sunlight together. Didn't you say you wanted to make a wish in front of it? Qinran also mentioned that the academic pressure is a bit heavy right now and wants to relax a little. I sneered inwardly. So after all that talk, it's because Qinran wants to go, and once again, without even asking for my opinion, everything has been arranged on their own. I'm not going. Why not? Weren't you the one who kept saying you wanted to visit Xinjiang before? Yes, I did want to go to Xinjiang. But he didn't ask me right after the college entrance exams if I wanted to go. Instead, it was only when Qinran wanted to relax that he brought up the idea of going to Xinjiang. I don't want the scraps of kindness others casually throw my way. I just don't feel like going anymore. My cold tone left the other end silent for several seconds. I knew he was gathering his thoughts. Nashgu said sternly, "Lunashan, what's gotten into you? You refused to attend the tutoring classes I signed you up for, insisting on taking some part-time job instead. Now, when I suggest taking you to Xinjiang, you refuse again. This time, you better give me a proper reason." "Fine. You want a reason. My reason is that I don't want to go with you," I retorted, my tone no less sharp. "Alright then, Lunashan, I never knew you could be so stubborn before. If you don't go, Qinran and I will stay in the suite together. Let's see if you'll cry about it then. Suit yourself." I casually brushed it off and hung up the phone, but not long after, I received another text from him. "Alright, I was in a bad mood earlier. How could I really live with her? I'll be waiting for you at the airport the day after tomorrow." I sighed, deleted the message, and blocked the number again. Before leaving, I visited the cemetery to pay respects to my deceased parents, then I stayed at home for the night and set off alone the next noon on a flight to Tsinghua University. On the plane, after some thought, I decided to send a message to Uncle and Aunt Gu about my decision to study at Tsinghua. Over the years, Uncle and Aunt Gu have been exceptionally kind to me, even more so than to Nashgu, so I had no reason not to inform them. Upon hearing the news, Auntie happily congratulated me and even mentioned that Nashgu should take good care of me at school, but she didn't bring up anything else beyond that. I responded to each of her words, carefully avoiding any mention of Nashgu repeating a year of school. His business is his own to explain. Turns out, going to college alone isn't so scary after all. After getting off the plane, I was quickly led to the dormitory by several enthusiastic senior students from Tsinghua University who had organized a welcoming team. Most of the girls in the dormitory were from northern China and were very warm-hearted. In the evening, they even took me to try some northern specialty dishes. I initially thought that, having grown up in the south, I would struggle to adapt to northern living habits. However, with my roommates guiding me, I found every experience to be refreshingly new. They even taught me some local dialect. On the first night, we stayed up all night chatting in our beds. Once the conversation started, the distance between us instantly closed. I quickly adapted to university life, and on my way to the freshman assembly the next day, 2 guys even asked for my WeChat. Suddenly, Nash Jiu called me again. "Luna, when are you arriving at the airport? We're all waiting for you." When I heard his voice, I was still in a daze. Feeling as if what happened between us was from a past life, I said bluntly, "I'm attending the freshman assembly at Tsinghua University. I don't have time." There was a long pause on the other end. "Wait, Luna-shan, you're at Tsinghua? You must be joking." Nash Jiu laughed in disbelief. "I'm telling you, your joke isn't funny at all. Where are you now? There's still some time before the plane takes off. If necessary, I can come pick you up." I couldn't hold back any longer and repeated my previous words exactly as I had said them. Then, I heard someone beside him exclaim, "Nash, look at the honor roll on our high school's official account. Luna-shan really got into Tsinghua University." At this moment, the principal was delivering an impassioned speech at the assembly. "It is a great honor to have all of you students here at Tsinghua University." The amplified voice from the loudspeaker finally made Nash Jiu across the way panic. When he spoke again, his voice couldn't help but tremble. "Why you really went to Tsinghua? How is this possible? Didn't we agree to repeat the year together? How could you have already applied for college? Besides, Tsinghua is so far away, up in the north. How dare you go there all by yourself?" I sighed. "I never explicitly said I would repeat the year with you. Besides, you decided to repeat the year because of Qin Ran. If I tagged along with you too, wouldn't that make me terribly tactless? But I've told you so many times about repeating the year, and you never once objected. You thought you understood. How could you possibly have gone to Tsinghua? You're not angry with me because of Qin Ran, are you?" I really just had a moment of weakness. She was crying, saying she didn't do well on the college entrance exam and was afraid she'd get depressed repeating the year alone after we all left. "You've been depressed before because of your parents' issues. You know how terrifying that is. She's not like us. Her grades aren't that good. She doesn't have any other options." Nash Jiu rambled on in a fluster, but I didn't react at all. All I could hear was countless mentions of her. Even at this moment, he was still thinking from Qin Ran's perspective. Without the slightest regard for my feelings, Qin Ran's grades were mediocre, and even the path of pursuing arts fell short by dozens of points to get into a good school. So she wanted to retake the exams. She wanted someone to accompany her. But why should I stake my future just to fulfill her wishes? I have no reason to consider her. I only need to think about myself. Nash Jiu, since you care about her so much, and now you've already accompanied her through the retake year, what more could you possibly be dissatisfied with? I think Qin Ran wouldn't be too pleased if I also retook the year and spent all my time hovering around you either. From now on, we're just ordinary friends. I hope you won't disturb my life anymore." Immediately after, all that was left in my ears was a burst of noise. I had hung up the phone. I thought this would be our final farewell. After all, we were worlds apart, separated by thousands of miles, with so many arguments standing between us. But on the evening of the second day, Nash Jiu actually appeared before me. At that time, I wasn't alone. Standing beside me was a male classmate holding a stack of documents. Just like me, he was quite tall, with deep facial features. The type of handsome you'd notice at a glance. We were assigned to the same lab group and are now heading to the cafeteria together for a meal. As we chatted and laughed along the way, we spotted Nash Jiu standing not far ahead, looking lonely, with the streetlight casting his shadow long behind him. Perhaps he had come in a hurry, as his face bore a look of exhaustion. Yet, dressed in a crisp casual outfit with a baseball cap, he still appeared neat and refreshing. The same sunny heartthrob of No. 1 high school. He had a backpack slung over his shoulder, looking as if he had just rushed over from somewhere. Although I had already moved on, seeing him again still left me somewhat dazed. He walked toward me without shifting his gaze. "There are some things I'd like to talk to you about alone. Is that okay?" After speaking, his Adam's apple bobbed as he nervously awaited my response. The guy beside me asked proactively, "Is there anything I can help with?" I sighed. "Sorry, I can't have dinner with you. Also, I'll have to trouble you to bring the materials to the lab group for me tomorrow." "No problem. Just call me if you need anything later." After he left, only Nash Gu and I remained now. He came all this way to chase after me. He won't leave until he's said his piece. I just didn't expect his first words to be, "You've only just started school, so be careful of any opposite-sex individuals who show you excessive attention." I scoffed coldly. "You called just to say that? That's none of your business, is it? Making friends or dating in college is perfectly normal." Nash Gu was momentarily speechless at my words, his tone softening considerably. "Luna, I don't know why you didn't stay behind with me to repeat the year. I was overconfident, and I apologized to you. I thought, no matter what decision I made, you would follow me." I interrupted him. "I never promised to repeat the year with you, especially since you were the one who broke our agreement to attend Tsinghua together first. But before, no matter what I did, you would quietly follow me. I told you so many times about my plan to repeat the year. Why did you still hide from me that you were going to Tsinghua?" Nash Gu asked agitatedly, gripping my arm tightly. "But you're repeating the year for Qin Ran. Should I really gamble with my own future just to help you too?" I stared back at him and retorted, "No, I might have been too confident about our relationship. I thought it would be fine if we repeated a year together, that we'd still be together no matter what. Have you forgotten? After your parents passed away, I promised to give you a home, and you agreed. I even planned for us to get married after college." At this point, Nash Gu's voice choked up. I shook off his hand. "But you never truly considered my feelings. It was only when I found out you decided to repeat a year for Qin Ran that I realized you never really understood me. Maybe you thought I made that promise just because you mentioned wanting to go to Tsinghua University in the future. But actually, even without you, I would have still applied to Tsinghua University, because it's my parents' alma mater. They dedicated their lives to the aerospace industry, so from that moment on, I secretly made up my mind to get into Tsinghua's aerospace department and continue the dreams my parents left unfinished." Nash Gu was stunned. "But, you never told me any of this before." I smiled faintly. Back then, I truly naively believed that Nash Gu was the one who understood me best. He understood my struggles, my hardships. And so he reached out to me. Now it seems, perhaps back then, he pitied me, who had just lost my parents, just as he now pities Qin Ran. In the end, I talked to him at length, as if to give an account of our youth to each other. "Nash Gu, you know what? It's only now that I've realized I've only ever felt gratitude toward you. Gratitude for giving me a warmth like home during my hardest days." Nash Gu's eyes reddened, his lips trembling for a long time before he finally spoke. "Really? Only gratitude?" Later, I heard from my dorm roommate that the boy who came to see me stood in the rain all night and didn't leave until dawn. Just when I thought my story with Nash Gu was coming to an end, Aunt Gu called me. Auntie really owes you an apology. This past year, your uncle and I have been so busy with the company's IPO that we completely neglected you too. I never expected Nash would choose to repeat his senior year while you went to Tsinghua. That brat must have done something wrong to hurt you. I thought she was trying to persuade me to reconcile with Nash Gu, however. But don't worry, your Uncle Gu has already given him a good beating. And now he can't even get out of bed. Auntie Gu, actually, we don't have any real conflict, just different choices, I explained, also to draw a clear line between myself and Nash Gu. Auntie understands, and your choice is the right one. I just hope you won't distance yourself from your uncle and auntie because of Nash. At this moment, I could clearly hear sobbing on the other end of the phone. Actually, I never got the chance to tell you. Your mother and I were childhood best friends. The night your parents passed away, I immediately thought of taking you in to raise you. I never expected Nash to beat us to it. Hearing this, perhaps because it reminded me of the time when my parents were still alive, I couldn't help but burst into tears. It turns out that the Gu family treated me well not because Nash Gu liked me, but because of my parents. After learning the truth, I felt a great sense of relief, and the heavy burden that had weighed on my heart suddenly disappeared. Auntie, thank you. Silly child, take good care of yourself at university. If you have any difficulties, don't hesitate to tell me. And don't forget to come home to visit your uncle and aunt during the holidays. I nodded through my tears. Never thought I could have a home again. Later, I focused wholeheartedly on my studies at Tsinghua University. From my conversations with Auntie Gu, I learned that during Nash Gu's repeat year, he became much quieter, as if he'd been holding on to some unresolved emotion the entire time. Once when I went to his room to deliver some fruit, I noticed a Tsinghua University admissions brochure on his desk. The following summer, my phone received a long-awaited message. Luna, I got into Tsinghua. After a moment of hesitation, I replied, congratulations, but I'll be going abroad as an exchange student next semester, so I won't be able to welcome you. Then, that message never received a reply. After that, a new chapter truly began in my life. Occasionally recalling the fragments of my youth, I would simply lower my head and smile. Ahead lies a vast sky waiting for me to explore.